righty, we are on the air. So I am Shawn Stewart, founder and CEO of 586 Sports, which used to be Sports for America, right here on YouTube on this October 10th, 2024, as I'm going to give you the best survival picks for college football and NFL. So I won't be in the stream for that long, by the way. And before I begin, I want to say you can follow me on social media. Let me go to my tags. Let me go to my. Where the heck does my banner go? Because my banner should be. Okay, there we go. So you can follow. There we go. You can follow 586 Sports on Instagram, X, also known as Twitter, TikTok, and Threads at 586 Sports. And then you can also follow me on Instagram. That is at 586 Sports S. So whether it's on Instagram, X, also known as Twitter, TikTok, and Threads. So you get the idea. All right. So last week, I was looking up at Splash Sports Instagram, and it said that 59% of survivors' entries has been eliminated. And I looked at the map. There was a map that was showing about the popular survivor pick by state. So, for example, like in the state of Michigan, where I live at, most of the people in Michigan pick the Dolphins. So if you pick the Dolphins to beat the Patriots, you advance. And if you pick the Patriots to beat the Patriots lost, that means you're out. You've been eliminated. So only people in Michigan got the Dolphins, while everybody else had the Seahawks. I think Arkansas has Minnesota. Yeah, and Arkansas was the only one that had the Minnesota Vikings. All right, and then I looked at Thursday night football. It looks to be that 70% of people chose the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, while 52% picked the Falcons on Thursday night football. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask, feel free. Now, the platform I use is called Splash Sports. Now, some of you say, what is Splash Sports? So Splash Sports is a peer-to-peer gaming, so you can play along with friends, family, the whole vice versa. So it's not like you're playing like Prize Picks where you're playing against the house, because states, they're cracking down on these daily fantasy apps that are mimicking like sports betting, like kind of like you're playing player props. But this one, as I'm going to show you, is kind of like you're playing against other people. So right now I am in two contests. So I'm still in my NFL Survivor Pool, and I'm just entered what else I also entered? The NCAA Survivor Pool. So I'm in two contests. And I will show a video of that. And also, I just talked to Splash Sports a couple of seconds ago before on the air. So I do have a promo code because I actually have three contests. So the first one is a NFL Survivor contest, which is $10, and you can have like two entries, so that's like $20. So I have an NFL, NCAA, and an NFL pick on confidence, which I will do a video on that tomorrow evening at the same time. Now, you can download the Splash Sports app on Google Play or Apple. And then after you do that, you can use my promo code, which is in the description box below. And the code is UUM2IX. Okay. So what happens is, after you use that code, after you download the app, whether it's on Google Play or Apple App Store, use that code, put that under referral, put in how much money you want to play. So like, for example, let's say right now I'm doing a $10 contest, and then you have two entries. So that's a total of 20. And once you do that, you get the free $10. But if you just put like $10, you will not get the free $20. So it has to be $10 or more in order for you to get that free $10. So I'll give you an example. If you're doing like a $5 contest and you put like 4, that's like 5 times 4 is 20. You'll get the free $10 because you have 4. But if you was doing like 5, 10, or 15, you wouldn't get that free $10. So as long as it's more than $10, you will get the free $10. Whether you're playing a tiers, NFL Pick'em, Survivor, or whatever game you want to play. So I just want to get that out the way. All right. So as of right now, actually there is a baseball game, so that's why I had to mute my television. So after this broadcast, I'm going to be watching the baseball game and the Thursday night football. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. All right. Let me go to my entries. Okay. Let me go to my entries. And let's do a survival revival. All right. Let me share my screen. Okay. Let me share my screen. All right. All right. Here we go. There's my screen, as you can see. And right now, as you can see on right here, it was 223 people entered. So right now it is 49 people. So right now, as of right now, the league I'm in on Splash Sports, it is 49 people in. So last week I told you I actually picked the Chicago Bears to beat the Carolina Panthers. So I got to make my pick right now, but I will do it after this broadcast. So there are going to be a couple of games I'm going to go for the safe or trap. All right. So the first one I'm going to do is, it's actually, where's it at? Okay, here it is. So the first one we have is the Cleveland Browns. Here we go. So the first one we have is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cleveland Browns. So for the past 2 seasons, Cleveland is 4-8 on the road, and they are allowing 29.1 points per game and scoring fewer than 20 points in 5 straight games. So the Eagles will host the Panthers in Week 14. So there is value in saving them for later in larger groups. But with so many eliminations so far this season, many groups likely won't make it this far. So I will take the Philadelphia Eagles if depends on what your situation is with your survivor pick. So I like the Philadelphia Eagles between those two. Next one we have is the Texans and Patriots, because I can't use the Texans because I did choose the Texans over the Jacksonville Jaguars, so I can't use that pick. But New England ranks last in the NFL in pass blocks win rate this season, while Houston is 4th in pass rush win rate. So this is the Texans' largest favorite role all season, according to Mike Clay of ESPN, and his model makes them the biggest favorite all week. So it is also the largest favorite role in CJ Stroud's young career. The Patriots are the second lowest scoring team in the league, averaging 12.4 points per game against the struggling Patriots. So you can expect the Texans to emerge with the win. So I like the Houston Texans. All right. Like I said, I can't use the Houston Texans because I already picked them. The next one we have, as we're scrolling down, it is the I put the wrong one. It's supposed to be the Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. Where are they? Okay, that's a later one. Scrolling down, I'm looking at a different one. The next one is Arizona and Green Bay. That is a 1:00 game. Some may watch that game. I know here in Detroit, in the Metro Detroit area, which I live at, they're actually showing that game. So with that game, Arizona has been lagging well behind the league average. However, Kyler Murray and James Conner has been more efficient in the ground game, but the question with Arizona has been that defense, because they do give up the 6th most points per game and 3rd most rushing touchdown. The Packers lead the league in takeaways with 2.8 per game and a turnover margin with 1.4. They're tied with the Buffalo Bills. They are the 8th highest scoring team in the league while allowing the league average on defense. So I would take the Green Bay Packers for that. The next one is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the you can't even see that right now. So the next one we have is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. You can see it right here. So looks like Jake Hayner will more likely be the starter for the New Orleans Saints. And Baker Mayfield has enjoyed playing against the Saints because right now he is throwing for over 700 yards in 3 games with a 6 touchdown, 3 interceptions ratio. So I do love the Buccaneers in that situation. There's a game I'm going to tell you to avoid. It is the Lions and the Cowboys because anything could happen. I know people saying the Lions because the Lions are coming off a bye week. And as of right now, the Lions are favored by 3. So you're seeing the 3, you're seeing the money line. So Splash Sports does have the money line. So if I were you, I would save that. I would save that pick so that, and if you're, especially if you're new to Survivor, I would caution you to stay away from that because that game can either go one way. All right. The next one we have is the Chargers and the Broncos. That's a 405 game, as you can see. Now, both of these teams have the top 2 scoring defense in the league. Now, the Chargers are first with 12.5 points per game allowed, while Denver is second at 14.6. Now, the Chargers have lost 5 consecutive games at Denver. I like the Denver Broncos because oh my goodness, looks like the server didn't do that well. So I like the Denver Broncos in this situation because right now the Denver Broncos have been on a tear. The next one, I thought about this. This is another game. First I thought, you know what? The Steelers may win that game, but I don't like the offensive line that the Steelers got. And plus, the Raiders are playing trash. Now, the Raiders are 22nd in scoring offense with 19.2 and 28th in scoring defense, while the Steelers have issues scoring with 18.4, but stop just about everyone with 14.6 points per game, and they're second in the league. So I was going to say the Steelers, but anything could happen with this game, and plus that's a rivalry game, even though they're in different divisions. So I would stay away from that one. The next one we have is the New York Football Giants at New Jersey against the Cincinnati Bengals. So that is a Sunday football game, Bengals and Giants. That's an 8:20 game. Now, for that one, the Bengals do have the 5th best passing attack. Cincinnati's scoring defense is the 2nd worst in the league. They give up 29 points per game. New York won't be able to take advantage of that, and they only put up 17.8 points per game. At first, I was very skeptical of that game, but I love the Cincinnati Bengals to pick. All right, so those are my games that I pick for safe or trap. Now, I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm going to go to the college football. Okay. I'm going to go to my college football. So I can start sharing it back. Oops, I don't know what the heck happened. All right, so let me share this screen back. Splash Sports. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. That's much better. Now, the first one, the game I'm really interested in college football, because I am a big college football fan. You have number 1 Texas will face against 18th ranked Oklahoma. As you know, every year they face each other. This is the first time they ever facing each other as both of the teams are in the first season in the SEC. As the Longhorns is coming off a bye week, as you know, this season Texas did beat Michigan 31-12, as Quinn Evers has completed a 73.4% of his passes to start the 2024 season. As the Sooners aren't exactly off to a bad start, but they had a 25-15 loss to Tennessee, because I did say pick Tennessee over Oklahoma, because I remember that. But Oklahoma does average 28.6 points per game on offense. The Longhorns are allowing just 7 points per game to opponents on the season thus far, making them one of the top 3 scoring defense in the country. Now, the Longhorns did hold Michigan to their lowest total of the season at 12 points, and the quote worst defensive game they played, allowing 13 points to Mississippi State, saw Texas allow just 1 touchdown and hold the opponents to their lowest output of the year as well. So Texas should not have no problem beating Oklahoma. So Texas should cruise. Texas should cruise this. So I have the Texas Longhorns winning that game. The next one is Vanderbilt and Kentucky. Vanderbilt and Kentucky. There we go. So you see it. That game is at 7:45, as you see it in the description. Now, Kentucky did lose to South Carolina. They have been quiet, and they've been on a run ever since. Now, Vanderbilt has an opportunity at getting to 6 win and the bowl game, because last week they did beat Alabama. Now, Kentucky does have the nation's 5th-ranked defense, and it comes with plenty of tackles for losses, and more than anything else, Wildcats ran over 40 times in each of his last 4 games, and even if it doesn't always work, it'll take away Vanderbilt's ability to control the tempo. Kentucky are 15th in the nation, allowing teams to convert just 30% of the time. So the blocking, tackling, winning the key downs, controlling the game, and relying on the Lions, all the things Alabama should have done last week in Nashville, Kentucky will do in Lexington. So I do love Kentucky big in this situation, and this game is in Kentucky, by the way. But the thing about Vanderbilt, I saw a stat of Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavla, because he's been great on 3rd downs, and the offense converted like 12 or 18, and the team kept the ball for over 42 minutes. So if Vanderbilt controlled the clock and tempo against Kentucky, that will be a big deal, and not giving up a lot of breaks matters too. Vanderbilt has only turned it over once. Kentucky is 3-0 when winning the turnover margin, and 0-2 when it doesn't. 252 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win, adding 56 yards. So once again, I choose Kentucky. Now, my Big Ten, that will be Minnesota and UCLA. As you know, this is UCLA's first year in the Big Ten. Now, right now, the Bruins are a 5.5 underdogs, according to Splash Sports. I love the Gophers in this matchup. UCLA doesn't have the talent as Minnesota. UCLA is 132nd in offense points per game, 92nd in defensive points per game, 82nd in turnovers allowed, and 109th in turnovers forced. But for Minnesota, they're 69th in points per game, 27th in defense points per game, 67th in turnovers allowed, and 7th in turnovers forced. So I love the Minnesota Golden Gophers in that game. And I know many people are going to ask me about the Ohio State and Oregon game. That is to me the biggest game for this upcoming week, for week 7. To me, that's the biggest game. Now, I find some stats. Now, as you know, both teams are 5-0. Now, for the Buckeyes this year, they defeated Iowa 35-7 their last game. The Buckeyes only led 7-zip at halftime. They scored the first 28 points of the second half with that win. Buckeyes outgained Iowa by a total of 412 and 226. They won the turnover battle 3-2 and was 7-11 on 3rd downs in the game. So that's not bad. Quarterback Wood Howard threw for 209 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Jeremiah Smith caught 4 passes for 89 yards and 1 score. Now, they also defeated Akron, Western Michigan, Marshall, and Michigan State this season. The Buckeyes have scored 46 points per game with 288 passing yards and 222.2 rushing yards per game. The defense has allowed 6.8 points per game this season. Buckeyes have gone 51.7% on third downs and 710 on fourth downs. That's nice so far this season. Will Howard has completed 71.5 of his passes for 1,248 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, while Quinshawn Judkins has rushed for 468 yards and 5 scores. Now, for the Ducks, they defeated Michigan State by a score of 31-10 in their last game. The Ducks did lead 21-zip at the half and 31 in the fourth quarter. Despite some first half turnovers, the Ducks outgained Michigan State by a total of 477-50. They lost the turnover battle 2-1, went 6-12 on third downs in the game. Dylan Grable threw for 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Jordan James rushed for 166 yards and 1 score. Now, the previous teams that Oregon beat was Idaho, Boise State, Oregon State, and UCLA. Now, the Ducks offense has scored 35 points per game with 294.2 passing yards and 164.4 rushing yards per game. Defense has allowed 17 points per game this season. Ducks have gone 49.2 on third downs, 3 out of 5 on fourth down through 5 games. Dylan Gabriel has completed 77.8 of his passes for 1,449 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Jordan James has rushed for 552 yards and 5 scores. Now, here's some more stats I found. The Ducks ranked, actually, they tied 12 among FBS teams for first downs against the season with 75. They also ranked 13th among FBS teams for second quarter points per game with 12.8. Now, for the Buckeyes, they ranked first among FBS teams. Actually, they're tied for first for fourth quarter opponents per game this season with 1.4. And they're first among FBS teams for second half opponent points per game with 2.0. Now, Oregon does have the home field advantage. Don't get me wrong. But I also looked at Oregon has won 11 straight games at home and is looking to improve their home streak to 12. Now, here's I'm going to say about this game. I'm going to stay away from this game. So if you're new to Survivor Pick, I recommend you saving both of those teams and wait for the next week. Whoever complete the most percentage, do well on third downs, less penalties, and has the better defense, that team will win that game. That's all I'm going to say between Ohio State and Oregon, because I expect this game to be a high-scoring game between those two, because this is a game, because if you tell me who needs the game, I would say the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes do need to win this game if you were to tell me between those two, because if they don't win, if the Buckeyes do not win that game, then Ryan Day is not going to have a nice, how should I say this, a nice press conference. Let's just say that. All right, because Ohio State, to me, that is the best team in the Big Ten, if you were to tell me, as a Michigan fan, because Michigan is not doing so well, so I'm not angry about that. All right. And we look at the score right now. Actually, I think that's a strikeout. They just called a strikeout for the Guardians and the Tigers. I did find an interesting article about the this year's Survivor Pool compared to previous seasons, and this is from Malik Smith. So this season, week 1 was like a weekly survival rate and a cumulative survival rate. So week 1 was 59.9, week 2 was 42.8, and then it ended up being 25.6. So I'm reading the weekly and the cumulative survival rate. Week 3 was 22.1. And then the cumulative was 5.7. Week 4 was 70%. and then other side was 4.0. Week 5 was 44%, while the cumulative rate survival rate was 1.7. That data was a courtesy of Pool Genius. So that's a very interesting thing because most of the teams that had the highest pick end up being eliminated. Because I remember, like I said last week, everybody picked the Seattle Seahawks, and then Giants blocked that kick, and that was kind of like much over. So if you have any questions that you want to ask, feel free to ask. Don't be shy, because I'm going to be off I'm going to be off the air in a couple of seconds. So if you're just tuning in, so if you're looking for a platform that you want to play your Survivor, pick'em confidence, whether it's NFL, college football, you can download the Splash Sports app on Google Play or Apple and use my code in the box description below. And then I'm also doing a contest, okay? It's a $10 contest. And if you were to put like 2 entries, that'll be $20. You'll get your free $10. Make sure you follow me on Splash Sports. It's 586 Sports S. Now you're gonna see $10 and 25. Ignore that $25. Go for the $10, okay? So I'm also welcoming people that would like to join in for future broadcasts of Survivor Pool. And tomorrow I will be doing the NFL Pick'em Confident. So that will be a lot fun because last week I actually did well with the NFL Confident. I was over 500. The one that really pissed me off the most for the NFL Confident was Arizona beating San Francisco. That really like crushed me. That really crushed me because I never thought Arizona would beat the 49ers at Santa Clara. Now, if it was in Arizona, I could believe that. I could believe that. And another one that really got me angry was a couple of games that made me angry was Buffalo losing to Houston. I thought Buffalo was going to win that game, but Buffalo, for some odd reason, they did kind of crappy on that 1 minute mark in the fourth quarter. I don't know what the heck they were doing. And another one I also got one wrong was, what else I also got wrong? I also had, what else I picked? What else I chose people to pick? I picked the Patriots over the Dolphins. Dolphins won that game. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. So right now, looks like that's about it. It's almost 30 minutes. So, and right now it's like only 29 minutes. So I didn't do that bad. So some of the clips will be on TikTok, Instagram. So that way I'll share it. So if you do miss this, if you missed the live episode, don't worry. You can watch full episodes of it after I'm done with it. And I'll put some clips on it on Instagram and TikTok. So once again, you can follow me on 586 Sports on Instagram, X, also known as Twitter, TikTok, Threads at 586 Sports S. You can follow me on Instagram, as you can see, at 586 Sports S. All right. So right now, it's still 1-1. So top of the fifth. So right now it's Cleveland. So Tigers just caught that. So there's one out. All right. So thank you guys for enjoying. For those that are watching, thank you guys for taking the time to watch this NFL and college football survival pool picks. So tomorrow I will be doing the NFL Pick'em Confidence where you choose the numbers. So it will be even more fun. So you guys have a nice and wonderful Thursday night football between the 49ers and the Seahawks. So take care and have a nice, wonderful weekend. Thank you.